Is everybody all trying to log in?
I don't know. No one actually confirmed whether or not
They were going
there was
to.
issues on their side, so I'm honestly not too concerned about it.
Yeah, we don't need to freak out over this. We'll find something else to freak out over.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a link, if you have a link, we can send it out really quick, but if you're struggling right now, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people here, so it
You're
might
not
be better
complaining
to
from their end.
Okay.
Can you find the link?
I haven't gotten any emails from them, so.
Yeah. Well, the link is here. Wait.
I think it's okay.
Just leave it? Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave it. Focus on here and
How do we stop?
you can evaluate that for another time, so.
Or if you wanted, we could record it and then send it to them after. Would that be better? Like if we, I mean, we probably could.
From my phone before I thought.
That probably would have been.
It's okay. It says live.
Yeah, because we created a new one that we were going to email out, but like we don't know if they would get it.
Whatever, do we get it?
So we could probably just leave it live and then just gonna leave this.
Due to technical difficulties.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I don't think that they're gonna get it in time because this would be the link right here, I think, right?
Can you post it to our Facebook?
To the Facebook.
Isn't it like, aren't they going to sweet Facebook?
Because what I think we could do is if we live stream it now, then we could send the link of the video and send it to them after.
Okay.
Right?
Well, why just for the people to work on right now? I don't want to share.
See, if you live stream it now and just at least record her, then what we can do is we can send it to them after. Or like do a video and we can like flip it.
We apologize. We're ordering more food for you guys. I know you guys are hungry and you're bringing your friends now to meetings, so we will start being much more prepared for that. But thank you all for coming. I'm Allie, your advisor again. We've got our different officers around. I know they've been walking around to the table saying hi. But I'd like to introduce Amanda Levinson. She's been working with me the past couple of months on a partnership with Intel to try and get you guys a little bit more synced in to a skill that's going to be incredibly useful for you, and that is scholarship application writing. So our scholarships for the IRA Fulton Schools of Engineering are due when? February 1st, so we do not have a lot of time. So Amanda's going to go ahead and start. There's some worksheets I know that are going around on the tables. We don't have enough for everyone, so let's kind of work together when she starts going through some of the activities here. So we can use those worksheets together, and otherwise I'll hand it off to you.
Cool, thank you.
We are filming, so go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Hi everyone, I'm Amanda, and I am part of the Phoenix section of Society of Women Engineers, and I am running the scholarship program for the 2018-19 year. So basically this entails, establishing the criteria for the application, actually writing the application, managing the advertisements, and evaluating the applications that we actually get. There were several motivations for holding this workshop. So through my college experiences and talking to people around me, it seemed that a lot of people didn't actually pursue scholarship opportunities, mainly because they didn't have time to actually write their personal statements and whatnot. So I wanted to give a dedicated time for people to brainstorm and kind of practice scholarship writing skills. Also, I think I had a lot of success with some of my scholarship applications and just wanted to shed some light on some potential things that might help you guys. So I guess before we begin, I will just give a brief about me. I can't stay long after this, but you guys are more than welcome to reach out to me for any other questions you have pertaining to your college or professional careers. So I graduated from UW, University of Washington, last June in chemical engineering. While I was at UW, I did undergraduate research for 4 years focused on biotechnology. So I was developing diagnostic devices for infectious diseases. I was heavily involved in my chapter of Society of Women Engineers. So my main position that I held on the leadership team was VP of Professional Development. So I managed various professional development programs like interview preparation, resume review, networking sessions for over 450 collegiate members across 10 different engineering disciplines. I took those experiences from SWE and was a founder of chemical engineering. So this organization kind of took the same values as SWE, but applied it specifically to chemical engineering issues. Last summer, I interned at Intel and then returned to Intel for my full-time job. So I work as a facilities engineer and I manage all the systems that supply chemicals to manufacturing. Future goals, I'm going to keep working as an engineer and then potentially want to pursue higher education and project program management. So this seems pretty self-explanatory, but why would you want to apply to scholarships and awards? I think a lot of people think about the financial support for tuition and books and things, but I think it can provide a lot more than that. Obviously, extra money for just things you want to do and save up for. I think on your resume, it's validation of all the things that you guys have invested in. So both school, extracurriculars, other jobs that you've had. And I think it's just a little reward for everything you've gone through in top engineering disciplines. So this is a snippet from my resume, so different awards that I received throughout my college experience. And I just kind of wanted to show what this can do for you guys. So these are the benefits that came out of these awards. So the first one led to an alumni cohort that opened up networking opportunities and discounts for future alumni events and things like that. Several of these other scholarships led to over $20,000, probably about half to the other half directly to my pocket. So I was able to not work an outside job and just invest in undergraduate research and the leadership activities that I was really passionate about, and obviously invest in my schoolwork, homework, and things like that. So I think it could free up your time. I think it could give you a little extra money in your bank account, maybe your savings. But those are some, motivations for hopefully why you guys are here and why you should apply. So this is also probably pretty self-explanatory, but just to review, common applications for scholarships consist of your resume, transcript, future coursework that you might be taking, just a general form about you, short answer questions, and a personal statement. So obviously you want to have your resume up to date, but I know that's probably hammered over the head in several classes in the Career Center. So we'll focus on structure for short answer questions and your personal statements. There are several different types of applications. So some might be just general engineering career goals, leadership, research specific. Like I said, I managed the SWE one, so that's about your involvement in SWE. But all of them are essentially asking the same thing. You just kind of have to tailor the details that you provide. So I listed a couple common prompts, and then we can kind of see, how we can answer all of them generally and tweak them for different applications. So just to get you guys involved, does someone want to read these first three?
Describe your academic and career goals and how you plan to reach them. How will this program / scholarship help you attain the goals? We are interested in why you selected engineering as your field of study, and what your potential career interests are after graduation. Please describe how your interests and background contributes to diversity and why diversity is important for STEM.
Thank you. How many of you are involved in research on campus? Okay, cool. Handful of you. Does someone want to take these questions to go through?
Thank you, Catherine. Just read.
Yeah.
Please share the role that your proposed research plays in helping you meet your educational long-term goals. How has research complemented your coursework to enhance your undergraduate experience? How does this project advance your plans for graduate study and your professional goals? Please outline your educational and professional development plans and career goals. How do you envision graduate school preparing you for a career that allows you to contribute to expanding scientific understanding as well as broadly benefit society?
And just so you know, these are all real questions that I pulled from some of my past applications. So That's another research one. Does someone want to grab service and leadership prompts?
This goes faster if you help volunteer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please describe the activity or project you propose to undertake and how this experience will challenge you and allow you to grow as a leader. Include a discussion of why this innovative matters to you, what you expect to distinctly contribute, and your goals for developing your leadership potential. And then give us a brief overview of the activities you consider most relevant to your civic leadership experience. The selection committee is looking for a demonstration of depth in your leadership commitment, not a laundry list of things you've done. Be selective, focus on areas of significant and increasing depth.
Perfect, thank you. And then the scholarship that I'm overseeing for this year for the Phoenix section of SWE is pretty simple. What does SWE mean to you? So just in reading some of those prompts, can someone tell me, some similarities across all of them, like what they're asking for from you?
I think they want to see like more significance in your experience, opposed to like just listing your an explanation of why it's important, how it impacted you.
And I think they want to see a lot of actual specifics, right? Like situations they want to know. It's not just like, what would a scholarship do for you? Oh, that would help me save money. Well, obviously, it's money, right? They kind of want to have a, looks like a lot of them are, give me a specific, what is this, how is it going to change? Or give me a time that you were a leader in an obstacle. Give some real kind of good life scenarios.
Anyone else? Nothing? One more person? Yeah.
I think that in asking for our perspective, like you described or what you see too, they kind of want to know more into their investment, into their, like, making sure that the money is not going to go in vain.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, I agree with all those things. So basically, they want to see what is not demonstrated on your resume. So your personality, your passions, what you have gotten out of the things that you've accomplished. And then, like was just mentioned, they want to make sure that, they're investing in your engineering career and so forth, that, it'll actually make a difference in the activities that you're involved in. So based on all of the similarities, there's a pretty simple structure that you can follow for all of these different prompts. You can kind of just tweak, how much detail you put in each section. So you want to start out with your motivations and career goals. So you're all in engineering. Why are you in engineering? And what do you want to do with engineering? So I initially went into chemical engineering because I thought it was a broad, I liked math and chemistry like a lot of people that go into chemical engineering, but thought it was a broad way to apply my technical skills, specifically to medical issues, but also to other technical problems facing society. Obviously mention your relevant experience. That for engineers obviously entails a lot of technical, maybe hands-on experiences, but you can also include, depending on the application, leadership, community service, and other things outside of, hard technical skills. Going back to what Ali said about being specific, what skills, knowledge, or competence have you gained from all of those activities? So you don't want to just say, I did this activity, and that was the end of it. What were the outcomes? What were your deliverables? And how is that going to help you in the future? How is the scholarship going to help you? So restate your motivations and career goals and how financial support might help. And then, of course, appreciation for the opportunity. So that's just a simple last line item that makes a difference to evaluators. Some side notes for structure, because that kind of seems like a lot, and I know it's kind of hard to make it all flow or kind of come together. You can break it down into sections. You don't have to make it completely anecdotal. And then it always helps to start with writing everything you want to say, and then you can cut and kind of get rid of the filler words. So, any questions? How many of you have already started your applications? 3 of you? 4 of you? Okay.
You don't have to lie, Catherine.
For the SWE one, no. For the Fulton Schools one, yes.
Have any of you applied to scholarships before? Yeah? Okay. So is this all pretty familiar to you guys, or? Okay. So I guess based on the structure, we don't have to spend too much time on this because I want to release you guys to actually practice writing and brainstorming. I just have a few excerpts from, some of my applications so we can kind of break them down and see how we're tackling each of these items that are being evaluated. So can you guys read that? I can just read this first one. As an introduction, this was for a leadership scholarship. Upon entering the University of Washington as a direct freshman admit to the Department of Chemical Engineering, I was eager to get involved in the engineering community and build my resume of relevant research and internship experiences. However, after my first quarter of college and initial involvement in the UW chapter of Society of Women Engineers, I discovered little chemi representation on campus and that relevant job opportunities were limited in both diversity and quantity. I wanted to change the situation for both myself and my chemi peers. 3 years later, I have held various professional development-related leadership positions and developed a passion for improving professional development opportunities and resources for chemi students at UW. So if we break this down, the first part is just defining who I am. So I've reviewed a lot of scholarship applications from students that don't ever mention what discipline they're in or why they're pursuing that particular field, if they do mention it. And then background and motivations. So this was a leadership application. So what is spurring me to apply to this specifically? And then this one was a proposal for what I was going to do. So I was kind of prefacing what I was going to talk about and how it was relevant to my experiences thus far and moving forward. With that, if you want to flip to the second page in your packet. So I ran out of packets. So if some of you want to share and maybe just pull out some paper. There's a section at the top. It says introduction. So I would just spend a couple minutes writing out why you chose to pursue engineering, what your career goals are, and why you're applying to either the Fulton Scholarship or the SWE Scholarship, and then try to consolidate this information in a couple sentences. So. Oh, okay. I looked at the SWE National. So yeah. I'll add that in my slides when I send it out.
Because there are
I do have the slide at the end, the opportunities, so I mentioned that. Or if you want me to. Okay. Cool.
How are we doing? Did we get some ideas? Why are you here? Really? Why are you here, Rachel? I don't know either, right? Dad said we make a lot of money, right? Sounds good. And also, I think the funny stories are inspirational. So I for me, it was, yeah, Dad said he here. And I was like, Dad, I don't want to drive a train. That's what I thought it was. I thought you were a train driver. And I was like, after that, I kind of like, that's my story. Like, okay. So
It's all about
She was literally like, oh no, I know, the week off. She was like, no, yeah, like I don't, right, like I'm not struggling, I don't have like, yeah, like the third world thing, to like, I don't feel like I need to.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So hopefully you guys have figured out maybe a good story to introduce yourself. I'll let Amanda continue on.
Okay. Are we ready? This one's kind of a long example, so I apologize. I think this made a little more sense to me when I was making this slide, but I just wanted to
bragging about herself and she just couldn't stop.
I just wanted to give an example of maybe how to explain the technical experiences that you guys have. So basically tying together something hands-on and practical, like an internship or research, to your coursework, and then how that applies to career goals again. So this was based on my internship last summer and then chemical engineering coursework. So last summer, I interned at Intel Corporation, where I fell in love with the technical work, inclusive company culture, and fast-paced industry environment. Due to my experiences in research project management and leading several programs for SWE&Wiki, I thrived when tasked with over 5 projects spanning multiple cross-functional groups. This internship enabled me to connect my research, coursework, and drive to lead and support others in a way that redirected my career goals. My Intel projects demonstrated the applications and importance of the core chemistry concepts I've learned over the past 2 years. For example, in mass transfer and separations, I learned about methods of filtering impurities out of chemicals. Through interacting with my Intel team and chemistry professionals, I've seen how this concept can be applied to numerous technical problems such as semiconductor manufacturing, water desalination, or pharmaceutical production. Secondly, a significant aspect of chemistry is being able to synthesize individual operations into complex processes. The skills I've acquired through my coursework have translated directly to my work with SWE&Wiki, where I've built inclusive communities and effectively managed large-scale events requiring me to combine several components, like setup, sponsorship, procurement, into one production. So if we break this down, this gives an overview of what I was doing, so what my position was, where I was doing it, why it's significant, so just a broad overview of what I got out of this and how it has connected to my college experience. Here's concrete example number 1, so taking mass transfer and separations and how it ties to something practical. Concrete example number 2, so synthesizing individual operations, managing complex processes, and then at the end I give tangible examples of how it pertains to things that I've done at UW, so event planning and leading large groups, so something that shows that I wasn't just a part of a group, but I actually delivered X, Y, and Z. So let's see, do I have another example? This one's kind of long, so I'll just leave that one up if people want to read it. But just for the sake of time, we can move on to the relevant experiences part of the packet here. So this kind of breaks down the details of what you can include in paragraph form. So what was your experience? Why were you a part of it? And then list out the actual skills and outcomes that you had from that. So
What's the biggest question you're probably asking yourself right now?
What have I done?
Right. You're looking at Amanda, right? Like brown noser to the T. Has all these amazing examples of what she's done in Intel. How many of you actually have that? Shut up. Oh, I was going to say Rachel, you do not. Right? So this is where it gets hard. So let's brainstorm together as a crew. Let's kind of brainstorm. What are things that you think are relevant experiences, even though maybe you haven't had an internship yet? Let's shout them out. Yeah.
I always think like being involved in clubs, like I did a lot of that, and that's like how I got my internships, was just being really fun.
Okay, so clubs, if you've got anything extracurricular, yeah, what do you think? I love it. Epics, how many in Epics? Or have had experience with it? Okay, a couple. What else we got?
Your FSC 100 project.
Look at that! All the way from that first semester, you hated it, right? That power plant, right? That robot they had to do through the maze. It's still experience. It's engineering experience, but oh, that taught you so much more, right? Teamwork, modeling, right? Project management and budgeting. So let's go back and start thinking about true experience. What else have we done? Okay, so any kind of job. So you're saying like pizza delivery, working at the Gap. Okay, because they teach you what? Let's put some sexy words to it. What do they teach you? Discipline, patience, responsibility, accountability, reliability, all those abilities that you gain while getting a job. Okay. What else do we get? Okay, who's done Fury? Or maybe some research with a professor? That's always going to be a big one to put on as well. Who runs a tutoring group? And you don't have to be a Fulton tutor. Like, how many people sit in a study group with the same group of chumps every year, every week, right? And you're giving them the same goddamn answers every week. You know who you are, right? Those guys are coming around and they're always palling up with you and you're always helping them with their homework. You are now mentoring a study group. You should put that in there as experience, that you're helping other students. You're giving them your time and helping them with their classes. Yeah.
Does it have to be current experiences of like last semester?
I don't think so. I think within reason, a couple of years within college. I don't delve too much into high school unless I'm a freshman. If I'm a freshman, early sophomore, then I'll delve into, I was in FBLA and I was in DECA or whatever. So I would keep it within a couple of years. What else? What other kind of stuff? Maybe you're, I don't know, like a Bible study, church group leader. Maybe you help out with SWE volunteer events. You don't have to plan them all. But if you come to one or two of our volunteer outreach events, that's experience getting engaged with younger generations, helping them learn engineering as well. Do you have any other ideas? Yeah. So I would say if you can put, I don't mean like a deliverable, but if you can say like at the end of that, I learned the Python language or whatever it is that you learned. If you can kind of put like a bow around it of what it is that you learned, then I would put that as experience of I self-taught myself this language, or I self-taught myself this new type of calculus, or whatever it is that you're talking about there. I think it's relevant because it's you took the initiative, right? No, I agree. I understand. I would say, it's like, it's self-study. It's proactive education. A personal project, that's a great one. Okay.
That's also something that I don't think you necessarily need to identify as a particular role too. You can just explain, I had this experience.
And this is why I love engineering, and my passion is so I go out of my way to learn these new skills. An example would be over Christmas break, I was able to teach myself whatever. All right, are we getting some ideas maybe now? A little bit? All right, it doesn't have to be about internship, but let's kind of talk with your table then a little bit. What are we doing, like experience types?
Yeah, experiences, and then I just put up some examples up here of just someone using just coursework experiences for cover letters and applications too. Okay. So,
forgot this whole yeah.
That's great. Yeah. What else do you know?
Oh yeah. What? In the
Sorry. Oh yeah, for sure. Let me give you my email. Welcome to. Oh no, I think you're totally fine, and it's not too late to do research. But yeah, let me give you my email. Feel free to send me. Just give me my phone number if you want to text me too. Okay. No questions. But yeah. What's your? Oh, you're heavy. Yeah, okay. What do you want to do with him? I either want to do something. I can just use a picture. Oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah. Send me your resume, and then if you want to grab like talk about overcoming the finding internship that would be awesome. Oh, of course. Thanks for coming.
Today,
Salad you've been carrying around all night.
Yeah, so I'm just an engineer and I haven't been there very long. I can help. Do you have more? Yes, I do have a little more.
What's the most important thing? We're going to have people for about 10 more minutes.
Oh, 10 more minutes? I thought we were going to.
I'd tell them that.
Okay. Oh, okay. I guess we can just go additional experiences or motivation. Oh, well, did you do relevant experiences? We can do the. Do you think the practices is helpful? I mean, these are just aspects that are kind of bad. In general writing. Okay. Why would you want to do motivation? Okay. Are you leaving right now? Okay, can we talk after we finish class? Sorry.
Right. I'm just going to go through one more of these sections that we can talk about at the table because I know people are itching to get out of here, all right?
Okay. Is everyone ready to continue? So we'll just move on. So if you want to just flip to the last page of your packet, we'll skip the additional experiences because I think that kind of got mushed into the relevant experiences, which is totally fine. And we'll just talk about motivations and kind of concluding statements, kind of how to wrap everything up. So I'll just read this example really quick. We'll break it down and then we can break out again and kind of brainstorm. So this conclusion was, since starting my work with the PRG, so the Posner Research Group at the time, my passion for research has only continued to grow. I'm incredibly grateful that I discovered research early in my undergraduate career because it has provided me with a strong foundation in research fundamentals and ample time to continue working independently before entering grad school, which I thought I was going to do before I accepted my job. I would be ecstatic to receive the WRF Fellowship or Levinson Emerging Scholars Award, as it would allow me to pursue an independent project of my interest. This award would also give me the financial support to fully invest myself in research without having to maintain an outside job. So a lot of you early on in the night were asking kind of how to say that you want money without saying it like that. So that's one way. Overall, this in-depth research experience will ultimately propel my growth and impact as a scientist and engineer. I'll let you guys read this other example, more pertaining to leadership and goals like that. But so just general structure, concluding statements are pretty short. You don't want to waste all your words or whatever limit you have on this, but recap the motivations. So why are you doing what you do and why are you applying to this scholarship? Recap just an overview of what you've learned from your relevant experiences that you've talked about. What the scholarship means to you. And then, again, just how this will impact your academic career and goals. So this is pretty simple, but if you guys just want to brainstorm, start writing out your motivations on the last part of this packet, then we can do that. Great. And then I know some of you are probably itching to get out, so just before you go, I'll send these slides out to be shared so people can go through, because there's a lot more in here that we didn't go through.
Thank you. Well, it's nice because it's got examples, right? So you can read what's good writing versus not so good writing. She said good and bad examples.
But I just want to quickly go over, so like I mentioned, we have the SWE Phoenix Scholarship opportunity coming up. So this is due the 1st of March. It's a really simple essay that is just asking what SWE means to you. So basically just outline why you got involved in SWE, what you've been able to do with SWE, or what you've learned about engineering or being a woman in tech, or just about yourself. Yeah. That's a great question. It is not a requirement, but it is encouraged that you are a part of the national organization. We're just accepting the essay, your resume, transcript from your most recent term that shows your cumulative GPA. So there's not a hard cutoff, but obviously we do evaluate your academic success. And then just proof of registration that you're still going to be a student for the coming year. So, yeah.
Oh, if you need more information as to how to actually become a national member, it's at the very top of the newsletter that you receive every week. In that top read, there's on the link that will tell you everything you need to know how to be a national member.
Cool, thank you. There's also, I forgot to include it in the slide, but there's also several national SWE scholarship opportunities that you can look into. So one of your officers in this section actually was awarded with one of the national SWE scholarships. So just go on to, what is it, SWE.org.com, and you can look at the different opportunities for Arizona-specific students and other things. So,
yeah, so they award scholarships at different levels. So you can apply for a general application through the SWE National, and they have a bank of money there. Or then you can go right to the SWE Phoenix. You can do both and apply for SWE Phoenix, which is obviously just between NAU, us, U of A, and I think Emory-Riddle. To be able to, I don't even think U of A is in there. U of A is not even in there. So you're in a much smaller pool of people there as well. And that's all donations from professional members of the actual SWE Phoenix chapter there. What's nice about this one is it's not until March 1st?
March 1st.
March 1st. So you have an extra month outside of the Fulton one. The Fulton general application is easy to fill out, and that one's due February 1st. And so do you decide on that one?
Yeah, so, these were just outlines for what does SWE mean to you, but that'll be in the email sent out. Does someone want to talk about the ASU specific ones?
Okay, so the ASU specific ones, there's ASU bucket, there's Fulton bucket. Focus on the Fulton bucket. The ASU bucket is a mess. And honestly, it's not a general application anymore. You have to go and pick actual scholarships. So the Fulton bucket, it's a giant, you put in one application, we send it to everybody, and they'll all look at your qualifications. Don't apply for anything that you don't meet the minimum requirements. So if it's asking for you to be a Native American woman, don't start making up statistics about yourself that you're suddenly Native American. No, you want to make sure that you actually meet these requirements, okay? But this portal asks you for a personal statement, so that's where you want to talk about your major, your passion, why you're here, some of your experience. And then it goes through, and I think there's always 3 boxes, right? Something like, you want to pull it up for me?
Yeah.
There's always a box on like leadership. There's a box on service.
Personal statement, community service and volunteer activities, leadership, internship/work experience, extracurriculars, ASU or otherwise. Emphasis on engineering and or degree specialty, your LinkedIn, your resume, your graduation date, and transcript.
But the 3 big boxes you said, community service?
I mean, okay,
So that's where you want to, go ahead.
There's like 4 required. Personal statement, community service.
Community service is where you want to talk about if you're involved with SWE, doing a volunteer events for us, or even if you haven't maybe done any, but you know they're coming, and you're going to help out with our gear day, which you should all help out with our gear day. Yeah, I mean, Liz bombards you guys with stuff on Slack all the time for events. So maybe you want to throw one on there. I'm going to be helping with middle schools, blah, 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 in the Phoenix area. This can also be, again, do I try and stretch it? I mean, I kind of do sometimes when it's like, yeah, I'm helping mentor other students. Like, we have a study group. I lead the study group. I do think you're providing service for students. So sometimes I think that's okay to put those things on there. Or if you're involved with, you know, church, or you help tutor kids in elementary schools, or whatever it is that you're doing. I think those are all good services, even though it's not maybe the high school community service picking up trash like we're used to doing. Then leadership is where you want to talk about, again, more clubs, more roles that you've done here as officer positions. And if you don't feel like you have any, this is where you want to put what you aspire to. Getting this scholarship will help give me the motivation to be the role model where I feel that I can now become the whatever officer of women in computer science or whatever club it is. So there's no reason that you can't put what your aspirations are, even if you don't feel like I just don't have anything yet to my name. And if you have stuff from high school, then put stuff from high school in there. And then what was that last one? It was engineering experience?
Internship or work experience.
Internship or work experience. If you don't have any, pull from your classes. Pull from some of these projects that were kind of uniquely yours, that you made your own, even though it was homework and everyone had to do it. And you can still make that relevant experience and engineering experience to show that you had a passion, you were able to take this project on yourself, manage a team, do whatever it is to prototype your project or whatever, design whatever you had to design. Even though it wasn't getting paid to do it, it's still experience that I think you can highlight if you don't feel you have internships just yet. All right. Do you have any kind of questions on those? Once you fill it out, don't ever fill it out in the portal. That's my other. Fill it out first in a Word doc, a Google Doc, so you can spell check it, read it and stuff, and save it. Because honestly, every year after this, you're going to just go right back to that, add it, update a little bit, and then copy paste. And so that way you can copy paste which paragraphs make sense in which applications for you. So if you're going for one that's more leadership based versus technical based, maybe you don't talk about all these projects that you did about how awesome they worked. You want to talk more about the team management skills that you had, things like that.
Yeah, so on that note, I think it's really good to invest in writing all of this out while you can and have the opportunity to, and then continue to revise, like Ali just said, because I applied to so many scholarships that I was just recycling like the last 2 years.
And Barbara's lightning talks next week will be awesome to help you get your resume up to speed, because you got to put your resume on for the Fulton application. So don't just throw a crap resume in there. You want to make sure that it's up to speed as well. So there's a lot of the resume reviews and the lightning talks next week to prepare for that before it's due at the end of the week. All right. Any other questions? Anything we can help you with? Yeah, Ozzy. Yeah.
Some scholarships, they have like specific requirements. So for the general one, like, can I still fill it out?
Yeah, for the general one, everyone should fill out the general one, because it puts you in a bucket for everything. And then they'll, based on what you write, they'll figure out which of those are actually applicable. So fill it out. There's no reason not to. And it'll put you in good running for everything. Okay? All right, thank you ladies so much. We hope to see you. What's our next event, Amber? What's our next event? What is it? Study abroad. Oh, we're going to be talking about study abroad. All right, so very awesome. Hopefully you guys can make it out there. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Miss Amanda.
Yeah, of course. It was okay. It was great.
I like the break up and
Interactive. Well, yeah, I did think about doing it, like going through stuff and then going through a worksheet, and then I was like, no, I'm going to stay and I'm going to
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I've got them. They run pretty long now, so.
Oh, no, it's totally fine.
I appreciate it. If you need me to like sign hours or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
no.
I keep reading your email about like,
Yeah, just let me know if you have to work hours.
Yeah, I think I do volunteer hours.
Oh, yeah. No, it's honestly just self-recorded. So there's a there's a website that we have internally where you can log your volunteer hours for different organizations that are already populated in the database. Or you can just put in yourself. It becomes a matching grant based on your hours. So you get money based on how many